White supremacists plaster the OU campus with propaganda posters. The Big 12 expansion decision comes to a close, and the myths surrounding flu shots. This is OU Nightly. It was an ugly scene, replayed over and over again. Posters promoting a national white supremacy organization glued to the sides of buildings on the OU campus.
The organization responsible for the posters is a hate group called Identity Europa, a U.S.-based organization that demands its members be white Americans with European lineage. It is believed to be responsible for gluing numerous posters here at Gaylord Hall and also at Kaufman and Gittinger Halls, among others. The posters include slogans that are the group's rallying cries for a white-only society. OU is one of more than 36 schools around the country where the group has defaced buildings with its posters. Late this afternoon, President Bourne's spokesman told Nightly OU currently is looking into this group to assess potential vandalism charges and/or policy violations. He said any posters that contain hate speech will be removed.
White supremacy and other hate groups are a growing problem throughout the U.S. There are currently 17 known hate groups across the state of Oklahoma, 10 of which are branches of the Ku Klux Klan. Across the country, there are a total of 892 hate groups. That number is up 14% from 2014.
The OU Center for Social Justice is hosting 5 different events this week for LGBTQ Week 2016. The center is hosting these events at 2 p.m. each day in Farzaneh Hall, room 143. Each discussion will focus on a different letter of LGBTQ and was created to bring light to some of the LGBTQ issues on campus. And today's event at Hester Hall featured Assistant Director of the School of Social Work. His discussion aimed to reach all members of the university's community with a focus on topics such as coming out and finding acceptance from other students.
When we think about diversity issues or inclusion, we're waiting for like a hero or a savior to come in and be that. And so what I wanted to do was be able to reverse that sort of thinking and make the challenge individual. So what are you going to do in your spheres of influence in order to create space for people?
Tomorrow's meeting will discuss invisibility amongst the LGBTQ community.
Well, Emily, it's kind of cooled down a little bit, but it's still pretty hot out there.
Yeah, Kaylee, I think it's going to cool down soon. What can you tell us?
Well, guys, you're right about that. Yesterday's heat was record-setting. Up at the panhandle of Oklahoma, we saw a temperature that was 102 degrees, the hottest recorded temperature ever in Oklahoma for October. Taking a look across the state right now, your 24-hour temperature change has seen temperatures drop very significantly, down 21 degrees in Guymon, down 7 here in Norman. Huge part of that change is seen across the rest of the region as well. Right now we're sitting at a comfortable 81 degrees in Norman, 83 up in Tulsa, 75 out in Amarillo, 64 in Denver where our next cold front is hanging out, but I'll have more on when that cold front's going to hit up in next in Maine weather.
Thanks, Kaylee. And over the past several months, the Oklahoma Attorney General has come under fire for rewriting state questions. One would reduce prison sentences, another bans religious emblems from being displayed in the Capitol building. And as Nightly's Nate Fain reports, the AG's latest controversy involves medical marijuana.
Back in late August, dozens of Oklahomans organized a rally in the state capitol to protest this man, Attorney General Scott Pruitt, and his rewriting of the ballot title for Question 788, which would legalize medical marijuana in Oklahoma. Pruitt's office declined an interview with OU Nightly, but sent us a prepared statement saying that the original ballot title did not comply with current state laws regarding qualifying medical conditions and physician-monitored usage, and also contradicted constitutionally enacted federal law. Though the August 29th deadline to make the November ballot has passed, Question 788 will still be eligible for the 2018 election. But supporters of the cause still think that Pruitt's rewrite missed the mark.
And we're trying to be very clear to Oklahoma voters that this is only for medical purposes. The way that the Attorney General's office wrote their version, it leads people to believe this is for full legalization. And then at the end, they put an emphasis on the fact, letting Oklahomans know that this is still against the law. Well, the federal government is allowing states to pursue medical use. So we feel it's misleading for the Attorney General to try and put bias into a title.
Oklahoma happens to be one of 26 states that has already legalized some form of medical care.
Sorry for those technical difficulties, but the legal challenge regarding Attorney General Pruitt's rewritten ballot title is still being heard before the Oklahoma Supreme Court.
And Abby Green joins us now in the News Center with the latest on Hillary Clinton's advantage. Abby?
Hillary Clinton holds a significant lead over Donald Trump in the competition for votes in the Electoral College. According to a new SurveyMonkey poll, Clinton leads enough states to push her over the 270 majority necessary to win the election in November. While Clinton has many strategies to reach this number, Trump has few. Results from these polls emphasize the importance for Trump at the final presidential debate on Wednesday. And during a White House news conference, President Obama had some harsh words of advice for Donald Trump. Stop whining.
You start whining before the game's even over? If whenever things are going badly for you and you lose, you start blaming somebody else, then you don't have what it takes to be in this job.
These comments came after Trump went onto Twitter and said that the election will be rigged, despite the fact that he has presented no actual evidence of fraudulent activity. And according to military leaders, the fight to regain Mosul from ISIS could take up to 2 months. A diverse coalition of Iraqi security forces, Kurdish Peshmerga allies, and others of various minorities are working on an operation to free Mosul from ISIS rule. After being quickly captured by ISIS in June of 2014, Mosul has become an important site for the terrorist group. Since then, ISIS has progressively lost other Iraqi cities. And finally, opening statements today in the trial against the Rolling Stone magazine over its discredited story about an alleged gang rape at a University of Virginia frat house.
Thank you, Abby.
Still to come on OU Nightly, flu season is in full swing, but getting a shot may not completely protect you.
Plus, gas prices are falling fast. Stay with us. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Storm Jones joins us now in studio with a look at today's business report, starting with a focus on Oklahoma's oil prices. Storm?
If you filled up at the pump lately, you may have noticed falling gas prices. AAA Oklahoma says the national average has dropped for 10 consecutive days, reaching $2.23. Currently, prices in Oklahoma are about 20 cents below the national average. I spoke with the Auto Group spokesman Chuck May. He says the declining prices may be due to declining demand that is paired with increased production in both the United States and Russia. That has caused the price dip. And if you subscribed to Netflix in the past 3 months, you are one of nearly 3.6 million people to do so, causing the streaming giant stocks to skyrocket. Netflix announced the new subscribers this week, and at last check, it was nearing a record high, up 20% on the day. While Netflix stock is looking up, the dollar is also seeing positive movement. Economists say it recently hit its highest value since early March. The strengthening comes in part from rising hopes that the Federal Reserve might raise interest rates in December. Compared to other countries, the dollar is up 3% since late September. Investors say a rate increase would be yet another sign of a recovering economy. Guys, more good news for the economy today. Zillow has a new survey that says nearly half of all new home purchases in the past year went to first-time buyers.
That's good to hear. You know, as you know, college students, it's always good to to hear something like that as we kind of progress into becoming home buyers in the next couple of years.
Yeah, thank you so much, Storm.
Thanks, Storm. Although the weather doesn't make it feel like it, flu season is here. OU Nightly's Chris Hubbard debunks a common flu shot myth.
When flu season comes around, a common myth about getting the flu shot arises. After receiving the flu shot, some people feel they get the flu or an illness from the shot. Getting shots is dreaded by most, but just like any other injection, there's possible consequences.
There are some mild side effects of just getting a vaccine, like soreness or redness or swelling at the injection site, but it can produce kind of mild influenza-like illness symptoms. So you may develop a low-grade fever or some body aches, but that is not it making you get the flu.
It takes 2 weeks for the flu shot to fully protect someone after receiving the shot, causing a window for recipients to contract a virus. Sometimes it's waiting in a place like Goddard Health Center for the shot that a person contracts illnesses.
The flu vaccine does not in itself cause you to get the flu or make you more prone to getting the flu.
The World Health Organization, or WHO, is in charge of picking a strain for the flu vaccine each year. Data from both North and South hemispheres is gathered after the first of the year, which in return helps to pick the strain for that year.
They pick based on what is currently circulating in February, what they think is going to be the best match for what is circulating come, the following September, October, the following flu season.
WHO picks the best match in March, giving vaccine producers time to get enough of the vaccine made for flu season later in the year. Chris Hubbard, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Chris. Still ahead on OU Nightly, Bob Bowlesby in the Big 12 Conference made a decision on Big 12 expansion.
And we've got sunny skies and some light winds right now, but are they going to stick around? I'll let you know right after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Kaylee Nix here. If you take a step outside right now, you'll notice a significant difference from what we saw yesterday. Right now in Norman, we're sitting at a very nice 81 degrees, winds light out of the northeast at 10 miles an hour, low humidity. This is definitely different than those 90s and those high winds out of the south that we saw yesterday. Those change in temperatures are the same across the metro area. All of us are sitting at a cool 78 to 81 degrees pretty much around the entire area. Very nice for where we want to be this October. Our wind speed and direction has shifted as well from what we saw yesterday. Yesterday we were seeing winds out of the south-southeast upwards of 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 45. Right now our winds are light and varied. Up in the Panhandle over here they're coming out of the north-northeast. But down in southeastern Oklahoma, they are still out of the southeast, which is why they are sitting a little bit warmer than us here in the metro area. Part of that reason is because we did have a slight cool front that moved through last night. It is still sitting over the southeast Oklahoma area, which is why those winds are still coming out of the south for them, but they are out of the north and the northeast for us. That cool front moved through last night, dropped temperatures significantly. As we head on through tomorrow, we're going to have a low pressure system and a warm front push through across southeastern Oklahoma, which is going to lead to a chance of showers and storms as we head through tomorrow as well. As soon as that pushes out of here, there is going to be another cold front that moves along through Thursday, which will drop temperatures pretty significantly through the Thursday time frame. But then Friday comes along, that cold front gets out of here, and we're back to our normal, beautiful fall weather. Looking ahead, we do have a slight severe outlook for the Wednesday time frame. Because of that warm front moving through, there is going to be the possibility for some slight severe weather in southeastern Oklahoma. We are in the marginal risk area right now from the day one outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, which means that we're just predicting some slight severe thunderstorms, a small chance of light rain or of heavy rain, and maybe even some small hail, light winds, no tornado probability as of right now. Lows tonight across the area, we're going to see temperatures dip down into the 40s up in Guymon, up in Woodward as well. We're expecting to see our first freeze here in the next couple weeks, so we're getting down into that November temperature area where we're looking for those freezes to start. As you head out the door in the morning, your temperatures are going to be pretty nice. Winds are going to stay light and varied. Southeast 5 to 10 miles an hour, but they are going to shift more westerly as we head throughout the day. We're going to hit a temperature of 75 at noon and cool down to 79 at 5 p.m. Across the state for tomorrow, your highs are going to be right where they should be for this time of year. 80s pretty much across the entire board, but still down here warm in Idabel, where that high pressure system is going to sit over the top of us. For the next 2 days, we're going to cool down pretty significantly Wednesday into Thursday. Storm chances increase Wednesday up to 20% for our area. And then Thursday, cooler temperatures and windy. As the 7 day comes along, once that cold front gets out of here for Thursday, your Friday, Saturday, Sunday are going to warm up nicely into a beautiful start to your next week as well.
Well, thank you, Kaylee. I'm really ready for that cold weather to come and stay a little bit.
Yeah,
Me too.
same.
I love the fall weather.
All right, thanks. So the Big 12 is keeping 10 teams. Sammy Steele is here with details. Sammy?
Thanks, Carson. Yes, guys, my math isn't always the best, but the Big 12 will not add 2 teams, at least for now. Wouldn't that make them the Big 10? But the Big 10 has 14 teams. Oh well. We do know one thing. This NFL star went old school before last night's game. Really old school. Sports is next. Sports fans! fans, will the Big 12 ever again have 12 teams? Maybe not. The last round of expansion talks has left the conference taking no action and adding no schools.
The conference is in very good position from an athletics point of view. It continues to be one to which we aspire to improve and to show ourselves in competition on the field and on the court to continue to be worthy of national levels, high national levels of competition.
OU star running back Samaje Perine will miss at least 2 weeks with a pulled hamstring. In 6 games this year, he ran for 475 yards and led the Sooners with 6 rushing touchdowns. Joe Mixon will be carrying a heavier workload, and we could also see more from freshman Abdul Adams in the next few weeks. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is trying to take care of business against the other Big 9. This Saturday night, that's the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Facing a high-flying offense means OU needs to get off to another fast start like they did against K-State.
That's something that we really stressed this last week. It was important against K-State, but I think anytime you go on the road, you know, regardless of what style of team you're playing, anytime you go on the road, I don't know what the stats are, but it's, you know, your success level when you get off to a tough start, I know is not great.
Meanwhile, the men's golf team travels to Atlanta this weekend where they will compete in the Golf Club of Georgia Collegiate.
This is one of the bigger events of the season, actually, so we're just kind of trying to focus on the smaller things, just trying to eliminate little mental mistakes and try and stay sharp all week and not give out any stupid shots.
Last night, Sooner Sports Pad kicked off its show with soccer stars Madison Saliba and Liz Keister. And man, did Saliba wake up to an exciting accolade from the Big 12 Conference today. The senior midfielder and forward has been named Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week after scoring a goal in the Bedlam win Friday night. You can see the full show right here on OU TV after our newscast. The Indians took Game 3 against the Blue Jays in the ALCS yesterday. Indians starting pitcher Trevor Bauer left in the first inning after his finger started gushing blood from a drone accident. In the 6th inning, Jason Kipnis drove himself in with a game-winning run, a solo homer, and from there, the bullpen and the defense helped the Indians win 2-4. The team is looking to sweep the series this afternoon with a win, as they are now just 1 game away from playing in the World Series. To Monday Night Football, where the Jets honored the late Dennis Byrd. Last night, the Cardinals dominated the game. David Johnson ran for 111 yards and 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, the Jets offense never left the runway and was grounded the entire game. The Jets are now 1-5 this season as the Cardinals win with a laugher 28-3. And before last night's game, Cardinals All-Pro cornerback Patrick Peterson paid off a bet. The superstar somehow got himself involved in a throwing contest with the team's quarterbacks last Friday after practice. Apparently, he's a better T-Rex than he is a quarterback.
That's pretty funny. I actually saw the video, but didn't really know who it was, so that's funny to see.
I know, I'm sorry. He just took on that T-Rex role so well.
Yeah, it was good.
Thank you so much, Sammy.
You bet.
And still to come on OU Nightly, how $300,000 could save some of the most famous shoes in American history. Stay with us.
Deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write.
I'm Claire Spazier at the Update Desk. Oklahoma City attorney Kent Bridge, who sued rapper 2 Chainz in 2015 over an unpaid legal bill, has accepted a confidential settlement. Bridge said he was never paid for negotiating the rapper's peaceful surrender in 2013 after a traffic stop in Oklahoma City. And the Swedish Academy says they have given up on trying to reach musician Bob Dylan, who has yet to respond to his 2016 Nobel Prize win. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Claire. And attention, anyone with a spare $300,000, the Smithsonian needs your help. A pair of ruby red slippers from the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz is beginning to wear down. 10% of the goal has already been donated, with all the money going to a climate-controlled case for the shoes at the National Museum of American History. The Smithsonian is promoting the campaign on social media, and donation collections will end in mid-November.
Well, Kaylee, can we get another look at that evening planner?
Yeah, guys, so tonight as we continue into our evening hours, we're going to see those temperatures take a slight dip all the way down to the lower 60s. But the good news is those winds are going to continue to slow down as we move through the evening hours, keeping them light up into tomorrow morning as well. So, you know, we had those very strong winds yesterday. They are pretty much out of here, and it's going to be pretty nice.
All right, thank you. And thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.